young Americans who marched into Uncle Sam's army as raw recruits by the hundreds of thousands have become alert, well-trained soldiers, welded into championship military teams. A fighting force second to none may well be expected from a nation where men who from early boyhood have striven to excel in vigorous physical sports and who are thoroughly familiar with the development of such vital factors as speed, the split-second timing and coordination necessary for fine teamwork, and the achievement of accuracy. Speed, teamwork, accuracy, three outstanding qualities of all American Army units. Here, for instance, an infantry practice platoon of 50 men includes fast-moving riflemen who run to firing positions instead of the track tape, machine gun crews that carry a 500 bullets a minute weapon in place of a pigskin, and mortar squads that can lob explosive shells with the skill of a basketball shooter. The Garand riflemen fire from 15 to 30 rounds a minute. For every 3 riflemen, there is 1 Browning automatic gunner. An assistant takes over if necessary. The rifle fires as high as 500 rounds a minute. A particularly smooth working team within a team is the machine gun squad. And now, by way of illustrating the deadly power of this shooting iron, a bit rough, so we polish it off. Okay. Setting up and firing a trench mortar also calls for neat dovetailing of each man's movements. Here, like in a double play in baseball, saving the fraction of a second becomes important. Only more important. Oh, much more important. These lads hurl an explosive egg in a high arc to reach annoying people who may be hiding behind a barricade or wall, like this. Okay, they're all set now, and the bad news is about to be delivered by air mail. Special. The signal. The fuse is released, and the package is ready for the mailbox. Accuracy? Raw the. And here a towing job, usually done by half-ton trucks, is neatly handled by the Army's Leaping Elizabeths, better known as Jeeps. These 37mm guns are used to blitz light tanks. They can puncture 1.5 inches of armor at 1,000 yards. There's a 6-man team to each of these super pistols, and here again, speed, accuracy, and teamwork are very much the order of the day. After all, when enemy tanks are coming at you, these guns must be set up and fired, but very soon. And so each lad does his stuff quickly but thoroughly, and the gun is ready to snort before you can say Jack Robinson, or Tom Robinson, or just Robinson. Anyway, they work fast. They get off 10 of these lusty lozenges a minute, and for a 4-pound pill, that ain't slow, brother. And now watch him smack the first, second, and third targets. That's the first target, now the second. Nice shooting, and now for the third one. I asked the boys to polish my brand new car, so they did. Dear, dear. Ouch. They didn't even scratch it. And now we check the time in setting up a field artillery piece. These cuties are known as French 75s, but they spell terrific trouble for the enemy in any dialect. They can waft a 15-pound hunk of high explosives as far as 8 miles. Teamwork? Yes, indeed. Here's a championship crew that works as smoothly as a well-oiled football backfield. And now the business of setting up this field piece is just about finished. The gun is ready to receive its shell in exactly 25 seconds. Meantime, another group dopes out the range and phones instructions to the gunners. A direct hit is unnecessary. Any living thing within a 40-yard radius of where a shell falls would be a casualty. For practice, non-explosive shells are used. They will not destroy the targets, but just kick up some dust. Fire! A volley. If there were any bad boys near those targets, well, they wouldn't be there anymore. Over yonder, about a mile or so, we've planted a bit of an ammunition dump. Yow, right on the button. Army champions, indeed. And now, 8 miles offshore, we tow a target representing an attacking ship. Inshore, it is spotted by the regimental commanders of the coast artillery guns. On an elevation at each end of the line of guns are observation stations. These men observe the enemy through high-powered optical instruments and telephone their findings to the plotting unit at another location. Many things must be calculated for each shot, including elevation, wind velocity, temperature, and even the Earth's curvature. Since it takes a number of seconds for the shells to travel the distance to the moving target, the shot must be aimed at a point where the ship will be when the big firecracker arrives. Catch on? So, as the target moves up on that point, the plotting unit phones its final instructions to the gunners, who generally can't see what they're shooting at. The complicated calculations are now reduced to a few chalk marks on a blackboard visible to the gun crew, and the job of actually aiming the big cannon becomes as simple as setting your watch. Well, almost as simple anyway. Loading takes little time. These 155mm guns shoot a 95-pound skyrocket, which, when it explodes near the enemy, doesn't spell out 4th of July greetings. Okay, let's go. This is merely the splash of a practice shell filled with sand. If this were an explosive shell and the target a battleship, a lot of enemy sailors would be looking around for their ears. After further calculations by the plotting unit, and with no waste motion, a big shell is rammed home. And then, a 25-pound powder charge. Now the breech is closed and the firing pin, which is the trigger, is put in place. Fire! If a battleship were on the spot of this comparatively small target, this, my friends, would be a direct hit. Watch this one. Yow, that's shooting. Yes, sir. And now a worthless old hulk 15 miles off the coast becomes a real target for the super colossals that travel by rail. A complete train includes cars that house the 60-man crew and the headquarters and the equipment of the plotting station, and carries tons of powder, shells that weigh 1,000 pounds each. A 60-pound powder charge is the diet of these Tarzans of artillery, which can part the beard of an enemy admiral 22 miles away. Anyway, in figuring the shot, the plotting station had received its information this time from observers in the sky over the enemy ship. The mighty muzzles are raised into position. The command, fire! Voices of defense roar with earth-shaking power. And so, with every tick of the clock, Uncle Sam develops the natural speed, teamwork, and accuracy of his soldiers, fighting men endowed with a heritage of bravery that brilliantly marks the pages of history.